This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Friday. We made it, December 6th. I'm here with Al, Brandon, Lindsay. I'm Tori. Let's get right to it. We are starting off with a situation that is still unfolding at a naval base in Pensacola, Florida. This morning, there was an active shooter, and now 4 people are dead, including the suspect. The Naval Air Station remains on lockdown as I speak to you today. We'll bring you any updates, of course, as they come. But I want to remind everybody that this is the second fatal shooting at a naval base this week, after a sailor opened fire Wednesday at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard just days ahead of the 78th anniversary. Now, we have no word to describe whether or not these are related, but unbelievable. Prayers go out to everybody. We're still finding out what's going on in Pensacola.
Yeah, I go to the commissary on the Langley Air Force Base in Hampton, Virginia with my grandparents all the time, and it's like one of the safest places, like you feel like it. But so it's tragic and unfortunate.
It is really scary. Yeah. So we're wishing them the best. And remember, stay tuned here at DBL. We'll update you guys all with what's going on as soon as we hear it as well. Well, another tragedy coming out of Florida. Check out this video of cops in a shootout with 2 armed robbers. So let me tell you the story. They started out at a jewelry store robbing it near Miami. Then they hijacked a UPS truck. They took the driver hostage and led the police on a rush hour chase. Watch. The suspects started shooting at police when they got stuck in traffic, and that is when police started shooting back. They killed both the suspects. The UPS driver, named Frank Ordonez, and a bystander were both killed.
Yeah.
Were the police wrong to open fire? This is over 200 rounds in the middle of rush hour Miami. You lived there.
Yeah.
I mean, a bystander and the man was shot. Now, we don't know if he was shot by the hostage takers or the police.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing. I mean, you just don't know. And in a situation like this, I believe the police have to make a snap decision on whether these people can kill a dozen bystanders or, unfortunately, we might have to lose 1 or 2 lives. Yeah. So let's hope they made the right decision. I really paused when I scrutinized something like this because, I mean, who knows what you're in a shootout with a UPS van and 2 robbers. It's like something out of Bad Boys.
Yeah, a lot of people are going. The police are getting a lot of flack online for this, and like you said, I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to say anything against them because they had to make a judgment call. If these 2 men or these robbers are going to get out in a shootout with the police and going to take an innocent bystander, then who knows what they would have done had they gone into some residential community or something. So they had to make a judgment call. But the other day when we were talking about that diamond heist out in Germany, and people, and I kind of made the comment where I respect those people because of the meticulous planning, and no one got hurt, and we still haven't even heard from it. These street thugs like this that's going to go with smash and grabs and take people's lives, I have no respect for.
Right.
It's unfortunate for that young man who got killed.
And we saw that they were boxed in, so everyone's like, you know, all those bullets in the middle of rush hour, but when you think about it, there was an exchange in fire, right? So what can they do if the people are shooting in rush hour? Innocent people would have got killed probably anyway if the suspects had a gun inside of that UPS van. So I think the police really reacted as best they could. Like
I completely agree with you. Remember, just so you know, the hostages takers did start shooting first, and when you have that, you have to make that decision. And we here learned, I think, a lot, not to Monday
quarterback.
Quarterback. Yeah. Sorry, I got that wrong. This is a really interesting story. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden got into it yesterday with a voter at a town hall in Iowa when asked about his son Hunter and Ukraine. Let's take a look.
We all know Trump has been messing around in Ukraine over there. But you, on the other hand, sent your son over there. You're selling access to the president just like he was. So
you're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that? No one has proved that? No. You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
The No Malarkey Tour tickets are on sale now.
How's that malarkey looking now?
You want some malarkey? You want some malarkey?
Now, let's talk about two things. One, the response, and two, I have to be honest, the physical walking towards the guy. I mean, what do you guys think of this?
Everyone said that Joe Biden was looking weak and stuttering.
Right,
this is a funny moment for him looking a little bit stronger. I think this person is asking hard questions, right? Maybe Joe Biden doesn't want to answer that, but he's running for president. This is going to happen time and time again. He also asked him, does he think he's too old to be president? And Joe Biden challenged him to push-ups. So I think this is a little bit showing that Joe Biden's defensive and thinking that he had a shoe-in to be the presidential nomination, and it's not going that way.
Do you read it as defensive and a little bit of like, I'm trying to get back into it, or is it a strong move for him?
I read it as keep my son's name out your mouth.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. Family is strong. And I mean, we talk about politics, we talk about a lot of issues, but you see when you come for somebody's family, they react the way people normally react. And I think that Joe Biden, on the strength of the Twitter ad that he is going, that went super viral, and this, I think he is looking like a stronger candidate than a guy that was kind of stumbling, it looked like his dentures came out of his mouth at one time. It kind of looks like he's having a little bit of a resurgence, and it seems like
it's all about
timing.
What's your son's oil experience? And he doesn't even speak the Ukrainian language. So why did he get this job?
But it was a loaded question. You know that, right? It wasn't just like, I'm going to ask you specifically. He was kind of coming at him. And I think, and you might be right here, he was like, I got to take this moment and make it a thing. And maybe it was a bit defensive, but I thought he looked strong. Brandon, what do you think?
I thought it was strong. You know, like you said, one, keep my son's name out your mouth. Two, it's the No Malarkey Tour. Three, I think that he would
catching on.
Yeah. I want a bumper sticker. I don't even have a car.
So maybe it's catching on.
Put it in the back of whatever Uber I take today.
Well, speaking of that.
Oh, we'll get to that?
Yeah, we're next. That's
right here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go
I actually want to get your opinion on this because you take Ubers all the time. This is crazy, y'all. Uber is revealing the extent of its sexual assault problem. We just learned that nearly 6,000 incidents of sexual abuse were reported between 2017 and 2018. I know that sounds like a big number. We don't know what that means. Let me tell you, that averages out to about 4 rapes a week during or after the ride. I wanted the whole room to hear that. Everyone took their headphones off. That is 1 rape in every 5 million rides. Keep in mind, this is from riders and drivers also being assaulted. So I looked into this. There have also been 9 murders, and London has just outlawed Uber completely because they have no way of regulating who these people are. 4 rapes a week makes me want to cry.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what to tell you.
Though, if you think about just the setup of it, I mean, Uber is a stranger picking up people that are probably inebriated or intoxicated because of what. So it's like it's the perfect. If you were a predator, where would you go? You can literally pull your car in front of a nightclub, and a drunk girl will get in the back. I mean, we have to do something about this system. I don't know if it's vetting. We've seen this with our substitute teachers. We're just letting random people just have the run of the place, and this is going to be the result.
It's scary because even my little brother was trying to do Uber for a little while, and he's like, yeah, I just have to go into Manhattan because it was in New York and go through this quick test. And I don't know if that's changed. That was a couple of years ago. But even yesterday, I was in an Uber, and I almost got in completely sideswiped out of the car, and it was going to be my driver's fault. And I'm like, what are the driving tests that you have to do to drive around in an Uber? So when you think about it, I'm just happy that Uber put this study together themselves. Maybe they had pressure from the outside, but they did say that, only 37% of people report these cases to them and tell them they give them the go-ahead to tell the police. So they're kind of
probably even more.
Right, they're in a case right there where they can't do much for people who say they don't want to go to the police. So it's just an uncomfortable situation to think about.
Yeah, I was shocked when I read this because I don't think of this when I get in the Uber. I don't think of this when I'm out partying drunk or something like that, and then I get into the Uber. I 100% feel safe and think that I am going to get home okay. Now, I remember a time where my little sister, I tell my little brothers and sisters, I don't want y'all driving drunk. You don't have to call mom and dad. I will call your Uber from wherever you are to get you. But I called my sister Uber at like 1, 2 in the morning, like you said, Al, and it hit me like, stay up. Like, just stay up. Make sure she gets home safely. And I kept texting her the entire time, and she wouldn't text me back or whatever, but she'd text me back the next morning. But that night, I panicked that night.
Well, I want you to send this to her. Which sister? send this to you don't say this, but I want everybody to send this to everyone they know. It's an important study. Okay.
Well, Uber said last night that they have banned over the past couple of years 40,000 drivers, and now last night they're sharing all those names with other ride companies. Okay. So that's at least a step. It is a step. These people with sexual misconduct.
They do, but 4 rapes a week, we got to do better. That's outrageous. Well, you've got to see in a better news. Let's turn.
We got better news today.
Do.
Really?
I know. I'm
Friday bummer talk with Daily Blast Live. Yes.
You have to see this video of a 5-year-old Michigan boy getting adopted. His kindergarten teacher brought the entire class along to witness it. Take a look.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so as I speak, they're going to show some B-roll of the kids. He asked his entire class to come. They all held up heart stickers and the parents, and he said, I love my daddy, I love my mommy. And he is the most precocious, and they got to have a wonderful time learning. What a great learning experience.
So many people have struggles with adoption and things. This is a moment that he's always going to remember and say, oh my God, it's such a great moment for me to see my whole class showed up for me, and it wasn't taboo, anything. It was just a great moment.
You're right. You normalized adoption right there and then by bringing everybody.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I have an adopted sister, and I mean, it's so important. You know, there's a lot of kids out there that need homes, and this is just one of them that got lucky. And it looks like he found great parents.
Oh,
so, well,
yeah. The dad said in the camera, it's just too much right now. It's too much.
Those little hearts are like the best.
Oh, I'm dying here.
So
all right. DBL's live coming up. Stephanie Jones chats with the stars of Project Runway and gets the scoop on the oldest contestant to ever appear on the show. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. An epic video, all shot on an iPhone, is making people want to snow brawl, but an entire town has outlawed snowball fights. We're sharing your comments coming up next.
DBL Nation, you're going to make me follow that. That is my favorite story of the day. It's just so sweet to see that his classmates came to support him, and like our panel said, to learn. What a good learning experience for those kids at such a young age. To learn that adoption is normal, it's okay. It's a great learning lesson. I love it, and I love seeing the smile on that little boy's face. So congrats to those parents, congrats to that new little family. We're really excited for you. Let's go to the desk and see who else is crying over here. Who else is crying up here? That was super cute. Oh, so good, right? Right. Oh, me too.
A week. Well,
Michael Better, what's up? Happy Friday.
Michael Better, we have a question.
We're breaking the third wall.
Hello. All right. Chris is always coming up here talking numbers and science, and he's saying it's a smart move. It is a smart move. Is that relatively, percentage-wise, that big compared to the national average of, let's say, unfortunately, rapes per week? Well, meaning, how many people take Ubers, right?
And they sent their, I think, somebody who's in charge of their law department at Uber to interview on NBC last night, and that's the one that I was watching. And he basically said, given the amount of underreported sexual assault cases and reported in this country, this is statistically average. I heard that. And so they did this report just to kind of help them get better, but also they don't want people to get alarmed. Obviously, that wasn't.
And Lindsay, just as you're talking, you got me thinking. I was like, what's the national average of sexual assaults on college campuses per week?
Right. So that's exactly.
But Uber is an app and a business, and for that to be allowed in a private business, having the average amount of sexual assault, you think they would.
Like, what else can they do? Is like, does someone have a sexual predator background? It shouldn't even be allowed on the app. Because if it's just a driver check and a background, make sure you have no drugs.
Drivers are getting raped too.
Yeah, exactly.
Drivers are getting raped as well.
So how do you check who comes in your car? All you can say, are they nice 4 stars? But that doesn't say, are they a rapist?
You're totally right.
It's just a setup for disaster. It sounds sad to think, but it's almost like Russian roulette. Like, how many strangers can you let get in your car before one is violent, crazy?
Think about the cabs in New York. The thing used to be that the cab drivers were getting hurt by people that got in their car back in the day. So, on that side, you'll never be able to protect everybody that's a driver, even if you have the most stupendous drivers. People can still get in the car.
When I was in Dallas, I was talking to an Uber driver that said this guy tried to fight him because he thought the inside of his Uber was like a convenience store, and he was like, I just want some snowballs. Like those, and he was like, this is a car, sir, and he's like, shut up. Like, this guy was like,
a radio host. So I think that's why he's asking.
4, 3, 2.
Welcome back to DBL. DBL, it's time for Fifth Host, and we're talking about a town outlawing one of the oldest snowpack traditions, declaring war with snowballs. Snowball fighters in central Wisconsin may now face a fine if they are caught throwing snowballs in public.
Nobody that good and that good looking would ever.
Well said, Al. Very well said. According to the town's ban, snowballs fall into the same category as rocks and weapons. But this just sounds like a bunch of bah humbug to some of its residents. So DBL Nation, should snowball fights be outlawed? Before we get to your comments, we want you to check out some amazing footage from Snow Brawl. It's a very short shot on an iPhone 11, a little short movie by two major filmmakers, David Leitchie and Robert Elswit. Take a look. Terry from Facebook. Oh, this is yours. Sorry. That was amazing.
That was awesome. I was fascinated that was shot on a phone.
I was mad when we came back from that. I was like, oh, we got to do the show.
I know. Okay, so Terry from Facebook says, America is in such a sad state of affairs right now. I hope we can get over this hill and become a patriotic nation, again, where kids and adults can have fun without it being a crime. And then listen, I don't hate to be the Debbie Downer, but somebody, when I was in high school, we all went to the park. Somebody took a big piece of ice that they didn't know was ice, wrapped in snow. I'm running away because we're having a snowball fight. It hits my back and really hurt me. So I think there has to be like a spectrum of how big the snowball can be. You can't throw an ice ball at somebody's head, okay?
It's not the airport where you test your baggage. Like, you have to put the snowball in this thing.
You got to be a little bit more agile.
Wow.
Helen from Facebook said,
victim blaming, Brandon.
Exactly.
Helen says snowballs can hurt, especially if you hit Lindsay with one, especially if there's some ice in them.
Thank you.
Come on. First we're taking away dodgeball, now we're taking away snowball
Dodgeball
fights.
Should go away. I didn't like that game ever either.
So what else do you want? We're going to take it away. We're going to have a fifth host on that Monday.
Take away football, too.
Oh, man.
You've been winning the football pickup games here.
Take it away after the season ends.
All right, Pamela from Facebook says, this is too much like the Grinch that stole Christmas. Pamela, I agree. Look, life is a little bit dangerous when you're a little kid. The good thing is you recover like Wolverine very quickly. Your bones regenerate quickly because you're young.
How can you say, I didn't recover quickly?
Listen, don't let the mayor from Footloose here ruin it for you. I know, in Lindsay's world, there's no dancing. No jazz music. Yeah.
No fun. Never. Kimberly from Facebook says, this is just like that town that said it will fine trick-or-treaters older than 13 years old. It's more a warning than an actual law. I doubt it would be enforced unless you throw a chunk of ice and injure someone.
Y'all are sounding old this morning.
Okay, I know. I get it that it's not really a stringent law, but the whole concept of the law is very Grinchy to me. I'm going to be honest. I feel very bad for you.
You shouldn't be trick-or-treating after 13 either.
I trick-or-treated until like well into my late teens.
Really?
Lock her up.
Come on. Lock her up. I find this a little Grinchy, and I say, let snowballs fly. I think it's a little Grinchy. Go ahead. Oh, is it me?
And I say no. Whatever the comment is, it's just a
say
no.
no? All right, fine. Coming up on DBL, the brand new season of Project Runway has arrived, and 3 of the stars are right here on DBL. Why this season is breaking new ground, coming up next.
Are you one of the million?
Okay, Lindsay, who threw the snowball? Do you remember who threw it?
Yes, I think it was my friend Gerald Overton. I'm still friends with Gerald, but you know, although it's funny, I always was
Gerald?
Like, this is Gerald.
How close was he?
How close was he?
Yeah.
Probably from you to me.
Oh.
And it thought it was snow that hit my thing. It was like.
Did you fall?
Yes.
Did you retaliate or you just laid there?
I think I laid there for probably like 5 seconds, and then I pretended like I wasn't hurting. He didn't know there was ice in there.
No, you know, it's a weird thing, but like there is snow that packs better. It's kind of wet, and you want that, but you should be able to take it from nothing and make it into a ball. It shouldn't be something you scoop up and it's already
built for him on the ground.
If it feels like a snow globe, do not throw it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you should make it. Now, anything made out of authentic snow, whatever happens, happens.
I agree with that. I don't want to ruin the kids' fun. Snowball
Do you see
fights.
kids having snowball fights?
Never. I don't see kids like using a snow. What are those blow-up snow things?
The
snow tubes.
Yeah.
I don't see them down the side of the. I decided that wherever you can go. I used to go to any hill in my town,
That's
walk
what
down
you
the
would
block,
always drive
slide down a
past the
hill this
hill.
big.
You would see like 40 kids up there, you know, and the parents at the bottom. I don't see that
Christian
anymore.
I'm gonna look
Siriano.
out for it when I go home because I didn't.
Do you think that's
I haven't been really
11:30?
paying attention, but I'm gonna look out for it.
Yeah.
That was such a
Where
fun
the
game.
kids
You'll
at?
never see me.
Kids need to go outside. These video games are fun, and I love me some Mortal Kombat, but like,
into just a dress.
gotta go outside too.
Okay.
I just
feel a little
I had to
funny
put the
and,
video
like,
games down. I can't.
I really appreciate it.
They take too much time.
Unless you love
I can't
it.
Stop. I can't control myself.
It does take up a lot of time.
Do you like this, or I feel a little washed out and grumpy?
Why do you feel grumpy?
I just feel frumpy.
No, you're thinking that because it's like an old sweater. That's why.
Welcome back to DBL. Project Runway is back and serving up some serious style. Earlier, co-host Stephanie Jones got a first look from the show's host, Carly Kloss, mentor Christian Siriano, and judge Elaine Welteroth. Check it out on today's DBL Spotlight.
She doesn't look good. Being here is hard. They're gonna pick these apart. Threads, hems, everything.
That just felt like some sort of exotic diaper.
I don't trust you.
I hated it. I don't want to hear the excuses.
I just have one word.
You owe it to yourself to put your best damn foot forward.
Sabotage.
Sorry, Carly.
Carly, Christian, and Elaine, welcome to DBL. Let's get right into season 18 of Project Runway. So, Carly, you're back as host. I hear this season has the oldest designer to ever compete on the show. Tell me about that.
So we have some young designers in their early 20s to Nancy, who's 64. She's the oldest in Project Runway history.
This was my favorite look of the runway, hands down.
Elaine, you're one of the judges on Project Runway, so I want to know, how do you keep it balanced with being real and not too harsh when you're critiquing?
We understand, we're close to the creative process. We all understand what it is, so I think we have a level of empathy and respect for their struggle.
And obviously, Christian, you're the Project Runway winner from back on season 4, so you know the whole process. So what made you such a fierce competitor, and then how does that help you be a great mentor now?
I think back in the day, I never second-guessed myself. I think that's what happens with the designers. They get in their heads, but I just go for it. And I try to push them to do that every challenge. I'm just like, take a risk, like, go for it. I think I try to give them real fashion advice, like in the business today.
I just did a collection inspired by the idea of futurism. So many designers are doing that. McQueen, Louis Vuitton just showed right here. So feel that inspiration.
We have a red carpet challenge. I'm like, well, I just had red carpet moments, so I know something about it. So I hope that they take that advice and run with it as much as they can.
Well, talking about red carpet successes, your success has been wild, like talking about the tuxedo gown that you made for Billy Porter at the Oscars. Ooh. Tell me about that iconic look. I want to know the story behind it. It was amazing.
Billy just wanted to be himself. He just wanted to dress how he wanted to dress, wear a gown on the carpet. We didn't think that wearing a gown on the carpet by a man would be such a big deal, but it was. And I think the designers have to do the same thing. They just have to be themselves and be authentic, and that's why that was successful, and hopefully that will make them successful.
And we all know, Christian, you can be a little bit sassy on the show. Christian, what do we do?
Honey, throw that poncho away.
Get rid of that poncho.
Let me tell you, the designers at Mood, it is such a challenge because they are in the same aisles and it is so annoying. So I just get annoyed, and that's what happens. And then I have to get sassy because they don't listen.
Another day, another twirl.
Thank you so much for joining us on Daily Blast Live, and I can't wait to see the season so soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have to get Al Fashion Jackson a tuxedo gown. We'll be right back.
Let's do it.
Down. Oh, okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Michael Batter again, guys. He's so great. I just found out about the Wisconsin law. It doesn't apply to private property, so you can have a snowball fight in your yard.
Just what? Not at City Hall?
Like public
I was in a
spaces.
public space, so
yeah.
Gerald would have got in trouble.
statute
seem
of
to be like
limitations.
so marked.
He must have really got her.
traumatized
It
you.
was a big deal. And I was like,
were you like this? Oof.
I was like the smallest one, so they used to make a song about me called Little Lindsay. They used to antagonize me when I was
You were
younger.
bullied.
I can't see him grabbing
Ice has a
and then put
density
him,
to it.
Come on now.
When I was little, someone
He
did the
didn't
thing
put-
where they
he didn't
put the
grab
all fours and
It was
push you
ice wrapped in
over them.
snow.
Yeah.
You understand that?
How do you have ice
Really?
wrapped in snow?
How do you have ice wrapped in snow? Let's call it genius. Anybody? Maybe we can get.
Yeah, Brandon
Raquel?
genuinely.
How is it possible for ice to be wrapped in
Flat
snow? Brandon
earthering
wants to
this.
know.
How can you wrap
He can't
ice?
see.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for one of my favorite segments, the DBL Superstar of the Week. Meet Dee Dee Cummings. She gave her son Nick a gift that he'll treasure forever. Dee Dee couldn't find any Christmas stories featuring an African-American boy that Nick could relate to, so she wrote one. The book is called Just in the Nick of Time, of course named after her son. Dee Dee dedicated the book to Nick and boys like him, who she says deserve to see a character that looks like them.
I love that.
I can't even. Someone's chopping the onions. I can't do it.
And the better part is that there's both a white kid and a black kid on there, so there's something for everyone, you know. But great that we're always talking about inclusion and representation. So great job, Dee Dee.
It matters.
Right, and her mom just threw together a book. Like, I appreciate that. She took the time to be a published author. Did she self-publish, or like, I want all the details? I got to look this up.
I know.
After
Look
this.
up Dee Dee Cummings in the Nick of
Time. Oh, she's an author. Okay.
Yeah, she's an author. Oh, is she a real author?
Yeah.
Dee Dee.
Go Dee Dee.
We love you. See you same time, same place on Monday. Bye, guys.